Here we are at the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in all the land. And I want to start off, sadly, to say today is the anniversary of the attack of Israel. The Jewish people were attacked today by maniac, terrorist killers, Hamas. There's so many of them, it's hard to even say. But I believe our great president has certainly named these people who they are, the terrorist organizations that they are. And it was the saddest thing that happened on that day. Almost as sad, well, definitely sad, the way they're attacking us on that side, murdering Charlie Kirk. So just a moment from you guys, just to pray for the people that lost so much and to give them some hope. And here's the hope coming, all right? Jesus and God is moving so quickly, going to save our great country. The America First Warehouse is going to be the voice in the wilderness. We are beginning our movement in the America First media and television, and we are responsible for making MAGA. Freddie, Johnny, PT, Ponytail, my boys.
Yeah, baby.
Johnny boy, how you feeling today?
These the poor people in Israel for 2 years ago, as of today, that lost their families right away, or even have family members that are hostage over there, painful enough as it is. But I don't think there was any kind of hope for them ever until President Trump. So now they got some hope because maybe they will be returned. I know that today's a deadline day or whatever the heck is going on. Negotiations are being done with our people out there. And hopefully these people can have their family members back, dead or alive.
And he's been called, Donald Trump's been called the greatest friend Israel ever had. And I know that gets under the skin of a lot of these Jewish liberals who are anti-MAGA. But I got to say, if you're a Jewish liberal, and you see the leader of Israel get up there and say that Donald Trump's the greatest friend Israel ever had, it's time to rethink your politics and maybe come on over. There's plenty of room in MAGA.
You know something, Freddie? I'm glad you said that because we're going to be bringing in a friend in the next segment or two, are working on the MAGA movement, and Johnny and I are so happy about it. And my friend next to me on the right, Ponytail Mike, served our country and loves and respects the country. He's been a friend of mine personally for many, many years. I want to thank him for sitting in today. Kevin KDJ wasn't feeling well. Lisa's off flying someplace. Mike, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thank you for having me around the table this morning, guys. Great to see you all.
Why is it called the Air Force? Why isn't the Navy the Sea Force?
I couldn't answer that.
Space Force.
You know what I mean?
Space Force is nice.
I'm trying to help Freddie out with his question, but one of the things I love, Mike, and just put your mouth a little bit closer to that mic when you're talking and stuff. In about 2 or 3 weeks is going to be Veterans Day weekend is what we're going to call it. And it's going to start on a Friday night with a big party at LF6B. And then on Saturday, we have some great events for the Veterans. Saturday and Sunday, we're bringing in some incredible artists that'll be singing and spending a lot of time out here. You're going to love them that day. So mark your calendar. Get involved, Mike. And, Mike, you're going to bring some of your friends down for sure?
Absolutely, brother. I got some brothers coming out here to enjoy our place. They've heard all about this place, and I love it.
Now, you spend, Mike, a lot of time with your post out there in Kings Park. You march every time I've known you for the 30, 40 years that I've known you. You were in the parade, and now you even might be a Grand Master at some of the parades.
Yes, I've been asked to do some of the parades and march in the front and represent the Air Force and the Irish, which is part of the Hibernians. They support their troops also, which is a big part of America.
The Hibernians, that's another great organization. I wonder how they vote as far as, coming out, because what I have is a 1-minute clip that we're going to put on this segment if we can, that General Flynn addressed us. I didn't know if you had that one, William, or not. I gave it to you this morning, and we talked a little bit about it. But General Flynn, okay, he has that up. Let's tee this up, and we're going to talk about that after he's done.
The enemy, the adversaries that we face, it's evil. It is evil.
House sound.
It is godless. The infiltration into our country is the single greatest threat that we face. It's intellectual, it's emotional, it is physical, but it is definitely spiritual. It's good versus evil. Our country is in the place that it is in because the American people have not stood up enough. I'm talking about citizens in their communities. We, the people, we live not in a democracy. We live in a republic. We live in a representative form of government. That means that we, the people, are the ones that are supposed to say how it is that we are going to live. The last 10 elections for President of the United States of America, we averaged 67% turnout for voting for President of the United States. So that's more than 30% of the American people that were registered to vote, could vote, and decided not to vote.
Wow, is that pretty incredible? 65% of the total registered. So you went as far as registering. I'm not really sure how the registration goes, but I'm hoping in the next segment that we can bring in Stern America, Steve Stern, who every week or every other week he's out there organizing. Last week I was in Fort Lauderdale with him. I had a great time spending with him, and he educated me a lot on these different organizations that are out there. Now, understand that every state has its own rules and its own bylaws. Now, the committee is how it works here in New York. And in Suffolk County, I think there's over about 1,400 committees, seats available to fill. And the GOP and the local government's supposed to have meetings with committee men and find out how they feel about things. And I ran for such a position, and I was rejected. Johnny?
That was because you're biased. You love the country. You don't like what you see is going on, and they didn't want somebody like you in there.
Freddie, can you believe they rejected me?
I do believe they rejected you because we just scratched the surface. You know, everybody thinks Trump is in again, everything. We just scratched the surface. It's got to trickle down to all of the positions of government. Councilmen, mayors, governors.
We're talking committee. That's local as you get.
Committee as local as it gets. I don't think it has trickled down that far yet. I still think we're in the trenches in these committees with ultra-liberal people. So just the fact that you went out and tried to get in was a great step. I think people should take your guidance.
Well, not
lead.
my guidance. It was General Flynn's guidance. That's
I think
exactly what he said.
lead, and everybody should go out and try and get into these local governmental positions, and that's where it's supposed to go, from the ground up, not from up
And
down.
I'll tell you, the main thing I got out of listening to him, too, it boils down to good versus evil. And if that isn't clear to somebody on how evil these demon rats are, it's evil, and they don't care about us. They don't care about who they locked up, hurt, killed, stabbed, or shot. They are evil. They are evil.
Well, I can only say that I really had a good glimpse of it over the last couple of years when my eyes awoke to what they were doing in the deep state, and I'm so happy to have Donald Trump bring it together. Mike, you probably saw Pete Hegseth running around and just really pumping up the troops. If he come and saw you, how would you and your team react?
We'd be very happy to see him come on board. That's what we need, good leadership. Not guys who think women are okay to be in there and be men. That's not the way it works in the military. We got to be strong. We got to put our name out there. We got to put our strength and build our military back up. You know, we're very weak at this point right now. With the other government who's defunded us and, you know, did things to the military that shouldn't have been done. They weakened us. Now we got a good group of people in there. They're going to make the military strong again, put money back into the government that's protecting us. That's what we need. Good people to protect our country, not these woke people who don't know what's going on in the world.
Our government is always wants to put more money into the government, But what we saw the last, administration, starting with Obama, was the wasting and the corruption of the money. And to think that, Johnny, you love the story. You brought it up to me. We got about a minute and a half left. Some of the things that Pete Hegseth said that you really liked. Do you recall?
Well, I really had to laugh as I got the chance to wish my youngest a happy birthday today. And, he's a Marine, and he said his buddies got together, and they never laughed so hard about Pete Hegseth straightening all these generals that he flew into town to talk about. And, fat doesn't work. And it's the truth. I mean, if you see some of the videos and people that are overweight, they're not going to be able to help me or catch me or pull somebody like that over. You got to be in shape and proud to serve the country. I know they thought it was hilarious. Maybe it was hurtful to some people, but I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud for our military and then Donald Trump's choices in his secretaries, man.
That's what he did. He's bringing back pride in the military.
Well, Pride Month was out, wasn't it? But now it's Pride, American Pride, is it not?
Real pride.
Right,
Well,
real
you
pride,
can tell
exactly.
American by when you go through your neighborhoods and you see them put an American flag out in front of the house. You know who they voted for. You know they think the same way. And if they don't, those are the ones we got to get to turn.
Well, Johnny boy, I got to tell you, I think that was kind of funny. And I'm glad you mentioned it. For the last 30 seconds, we're going to be hopefully bringing in Steve Stern from Stern America, where we got these great America flag shirts that both John and I are wearing. Promo code, the America First Warehouse, America shirt.
Love 'em.
Yeah.
Love 'em.
Listen, the reason that I didn't succeed is I did go to a lot of houses. There were no flags on top of the houses on a lot of them. But I did find if it had an American flag, I went there and I got the signature. You know what I should have done without the flags?
Get some signatures.
Corrupt judges, broken families, families torn apart. This is injustice. If you've been wronged by the system, join us. Don't stand alone. Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, president of Americans for Legal Reform. We're the oldest legal reform group in the United States. The justice system in the United States should be transparent, fair, and open to everybody and accessible. Unfortunately, many times that's not the case. At Americans for Legal Reform, we are here to help. Join the movement. Visit AmericansForLegalReform.com and help reform the system before it fails you.
Hi, my name is Elena Ruseva, aka Megalangela. Please check my art at www.megalangela.vip.
Are you a musician, comedian, actor, filmmaker, or artist who stands for traditional American values? Do you believe in the preservation of our nation, our culture, and our freedoms? If you share our passion for America and want to use your talents to make a difference, we want to hear from you. Our mission is clear. Through the arts, we uphold the principles of freedom, faith, family, and the American spirit. It's time to step up to the mic and make your voices heard. So contact us at AmericanConservativeArtists.com. The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
It's Tuesday here at the America First Warehouse. I am Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket. Freddie Rubino here with my podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Coming to you live from the most patriotic venue in the land.
Welcome to Right for America.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to Tune In Tuesday of the Patriots Podcast, live streaming every Tuesday night at 7:30.
Another edition of On the Right Side here, and you can catch us weekly, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
And welcome to Liberty's Cage, where we rip the veil off America's broken justice system, prisons that crush spirits, and a society that shuns people who have paid their price.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kevin Downey Jr. Podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome to Suffocating in Suburbia with me, your host, Stevie GB.
Welcome back to the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. I'm Joe the Bucks.
And I'm John the Blanket, where your hearts will always be.
What happened?
I tried something
He stepped all over Freddie Rubino.
Yeah, Bubble.
Poor Freddie Rubino.
Poor Freddie. He's bubble wrap. Go ahead, tell him about Freddie.
I'm Freddie Bubble Wrap.
And on my far right,
Ponytail Mike.
Trying to protect.
Ponytail Mike. What a team we have. We've been talking about a lot of great things that are happening here at the America First Warehouse. And I don't like to say a lot of great things because there's so many things happening, but we are blessed to have an organization that's helping the America First Warehouse, the first one to truly step up to the plate. And it's all about God's money. As I've been praying so hard, how does the America First continue to push? And I found an opportunity for all of us, including you, Johnny boy, at $1 a day.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah,
Oh,
as little as
just
$1
like
a day. You got any gold? You got any gold?
All my investments are in gold now.
Oh, there is. When did that happen?
Well, since you started.
Oh, you
I couldn't wait till somebody asked me. Where do you have your money, John? I got it in gold.
Got it in gold and silver. Well, here's what happened. As I've been praying and hoping that somebody's going to dump a little something on my plate to help me continue this great effort and the movement that is really happening here in the country. I think a revival, an awakening type of thing through the grace of God. So how do you do it? We do it with God's money. God's money comes from the ground, like the food and the medicines that they want us to take, and the right way to do things through God's great grounds. It's gold and it's silver, and it's TAFW, the America First Warehouse, at soundmoney.com. And what that's going to do is going to allow you watch a short video and allow you to understand that most of the world, we don't have it. The American people doesn't have the gold. The gold is in only 5% of the American population that owns the gold. I mean, sure, you got a gold tooth, you got a gold necklace, you got some gold here and there. The value of that is going through the roof. The value of the dollar is going in the garbage. Now, you can play stocks if you follow Nancy Pelosi. You can't lose on that situation. But solid gold and solid silver is something that we all need a little bit to hedge our bet, and nobody's going to help us except this organization. It's going to give you an opportunity to own gold and silver for as little as $1 a day. TAFW at soundmoney.com. Okay, back to what's really happening in America, and this gentleman is going to come on 2 and 3, runs Stern America. Johnny, how do you like the Stern America shirt, the America flag shirt?
I've always America on my mind, heart, tattoos, underwear, and now my shirts, and they're beautiful. Very comfortable shirt. I'm very happy to have it, and I do appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Johnny boy. Well, I went down there, and I'm the one who got that. And I had two, one for today, one for tomorrow. But,
I know.
The funny thing about, X and Y chromosomes, and Freddie, you can comment on this next, is that John and I got blessed with my father's chromosome that destroyed my mother's egg in two and created the both of us at the same, right?
Identical twin.
This is science, okay? And no matter what you say, John, you're my identical twin brother. You will always be my identical twin brother, no matter what.
And I do appreciate the shirt, even though probably it was for your second shirt, but that's okay. I appreciate it.
It was the thought afterwards when you took it that really counted.
You said, oh, my God, I'm going to wear one and my brother doesn't have one. I'm very thoughtful of you, Joe.
Freddie, you like American flag shirts?
I would love to have one, but I wasn't given one. I guess if I had different
Don't
chromosomes.
you know anybody around here?
I know guys with a little defective chromosomes around here. But it's a beautiful way to walk around and just display your patriotism without even opening your mouth. Just walk around, take the subway, go to work in your American flag shirt.
Would you think that's dangerous?
No, I don't think it's dangerous.
New York City subway, come on.
I think the tides are turning now, and people are now respecting it, and they're respecting
You go
the
first,
flag.
Freddie.
Well, the thing that's dangerous is that somebody doesn't know the difference between a Y chromosome and an X chromosome.
Right, and
that's when it gets dangerous.
Hey, Mike, they got rid of all of that out of the military, didn't they? Are you aware of that?
Yes, they did.
Just recently, though.
Mike, please elaborate a little bit more. You're not at attention here.
Mike's a yes sir and no sir guy.
He sure
He's
is.
a real Air Force guy.
Ask
Yes, sir, no sir.
You can ask Tony. She loves him. Mike, so, did you ever run across any men that thought they were women while you were serving us great country?
I didn't run into them in my branch of the service. We really wouldn't have put up with that.
What do you mean?
Things were back in the late 80s, stuff like that. that wasn't really accepted. You know what I mean? You were kind of banned from the crew if you were one of those guys. You know what I mean? You really didn't fit in. And by that point, you'd probably just leave the military. But I wasn't exposed to any of that. We were all men in the military, and we held our ground, and we did things like used to load the military, transport planes, and did some heavy work. And you had to be a man to do this type of work. You just couldn't be a half a man.
Well, I would say that since I know you for 35, 40 years, what I always appreciated about you, Mike, was your work ethic. Did that come from your parents plus the military, or do you think that the military Air Force made that change in you?
Well, that had to probably do with the way I was brought up. My parents came here from Ireland. They immigrated here. They did the American dream, and I was taught the right way about America, and my parents made sure I went into the military because this is the greatest country in the world, they taught me and my brothers. We all served our country proudly, and I'm glad I did.
You know, there's something to be said when Israel has everybody go to the military.
Everybody in Israel has to serve.
I think, you know...
Females too, or no?
Yeah, females too. And trans also, you know.
Do they have trans over there?
Yeah, they do.
Come on, no way. They throw them off the building.
I mean, that stuff
not
has
in
existed
Israel.
since
that's Hamas.
since Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's Saudi Arabia. But I think that's starting to be, the more I see Portland and Washington and all of these riots with all of these young white guys doing it, and the BLM riots with young black kids in the streets, the more I say, there's a spot for them, and maybe a special branch of the military for people who are rounded up off the streets for being disloyal to the country. How about maybe a special branch?
And what are you going to call it? What do you think it is?
I would say maybe it's got to be a force, right?
Target?
Maybe the trans force.
Well, they're trying to establish an ice-free zone up there. In Portland, so they want to make this area where no ice is allowed. That's ridiculous, man. It's a federal thing, and the federal crimes being committed, and we need President Trump to help clean it up with whatever resources he has, like Pete Hegseth that's in charge of the military, where you're going to have to be able to pick somebody and rescue them, save them, physically be able to do the job. That's what it's all about. You got to be able to do it.
Throw that Pete Hegseth thing up there. That's pretty exciting. Can we get that one ready to go? Go ahead, Freddie. When you was a kid, what?
When I was a kid, sometimes you would get in trouble, and if you went in front of the judge a couple of times and he read that, oh, you got caught breaking into a car, you got caught doing this or that, he would say, I'm going to give you a year at Rikers, or you join a branch of the military by next week. And a lot of my friends did that.
I believe
and
that.
they straightened out. My friends became Marines, and they went into the Navy. Some kids didn't get accepted in the Marines, and they had to go to the Navy. But I think that's a good
You're
thing
not
now.
throwing daggers at the Navy. Yesterday was Navy Day, and we love the Navy.
If you are picked up on the street for rioting against ICE or assaulting an officer, guess what? You should be able to do 2 years in the military, and that'll straighten
Here
you
comes
out.
the video. Let's see it.
Military's help.
What are they doing?
That's a football game. Navy won.
Yeah, was it Navy one or Army one? I don't really know who won. But it didn't matter because the branch that he walked in to celebrate them went nuts with him. They love him. But the left hate him. How come, Mike?
I couldn't say why.
All right.
Because
We'll help you out with that answer.
they're used to brain-dead Biden, who they had absolutely no pride in serving under him, and now they have the pride back. Now they're like, yes, let's go out. Did you see Trump at the Navy on the battleship or something?
Yes.
Planes went over, and they were all chanting USA. That's what this country's about.
I get the hairs, the chills, Johnny boy. You too.
You know they have more police officers in the Portland, Oregon, or the state of Oregon than we do FBI agents. And they say, why are you sending the ICE over here to clean it up? Because you can't clean it up. Why don't you send it over to Texas or Dallas? They had every 911 response answered to by their local police. They don't need the help over there to keep the crimes and the stuff out. But they want a space for them where ICE isn't allowed. This is not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. That really blew my mind today. I think I got off course there, right?
No, you went right down the rabbit hole, and it's not really a rabbit hole because these cities that have been taken over by sanctuary
Democrat.
cities, we are done with it. And here's how we do it. And we did talk about this, touch upon it, John and Freddie and Mike. The local elections, local committee seats must be filled. And my job as the America First Media and Television is to bring the MAGA, because that's what we make. We make MAGA. How's your MAGA today? Yeah. MAGA comes in many, many ways. It comes in print form. It comes in television form. It comes in comedy form. Speaking about comedy, on October coming up, which is only a couple weeks, Freddie, right?
October 18th.
What's going on?
Going to have the Not So Newlywed Show right here at the bastion of free speech, the America First Warehouse. And so come on in. It's a great show.
I love that show.
Oh, it's going to be funny. It's a traditional show. So get your tickets now, October 18th, right here at the Warehouse.
Yeah, man. Get online. Make it happen. We're working on a beautiful app that's going to be coming up pretty soon. It's going to be real easy to be able to access the America First Media and Television. We're going to be bringing in spectacular people like Rudy Giuliani, like General Flynn. You saw his before. The great Mayor Rudy will be with you, too. We had so close to having Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro back to the warehouse again, right? Yeah. We have some great events coming up. Charlie Kirk's birthday is coming up, and we never want to really forget Charlie Kirk on the 14th.
Never will.
It's a Tuesday, and behind me is a piece done by Chelsea Carroll. On the other side behind Freddie is Lena Ruzova. And the people that really loved what Charlie did, it affected me like you wouldn't believe, because I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better father. I'm going to be a better American. We're going to see you on the other side.
Nice.
Who broke the television?
Can we laugh at that? Sounds to me.
As of this week, public gay sex will now be mandatory.
Parties. Am I the only one that could see his lips move?
Cheekbones, baby.
I'm sorry, maybe I overreacted.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Hey, fellow patriots, it's Cindy Gross here, host of Right for America from your favorite place, the America First Warehouse. You've seen me show on my show so many products from this country's #1 most patriotic manufacturer with close to 400 products. You need to exchange the products you use in your house to this company and make your dollars count in our country.
Freddie Rubino here at the America First Warehouse. I'm inviting you to the live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Just click on the QR code right above my shoulder and you can get tickets. Live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Drinks, snacks, it's a great time. We'll see you there October 18th.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity for the patriots of America.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I am so blessed and happy what's happening in this country, the awakening. And where does it come from? The whole show we've been building up to my great friend Steve Stern, who's in the waiting room right now, waiting to come in. I don't want to waste too much time with what's happening. I want to bring him in right away. Steve Stern, you handsome man, how are you today? Welcome to the America First Warehouse Podcast, most patriotic venue in all the land. Hey, give me the big wide shot for all of us so Steve Stern can see. There we are. This is the one we're going to work with, okay?
See, we called and talked to each other this morning, said this is the one we're going to wear. The red, white, and blue one?
Yes, of course. Steve, welcome to the show. Can you hear us?
On with a whole team, but I'm glad to have everybody talking and asking questions. You know, we're glad to be here because the warehouse just came on to help us, and we're helping you, and that's going to be communication like you've never seen before. And that's what we all need to do all over the country, and that's how we started. I mean, I got involved with the Broward Republican Executive Committee 25 years ago, and I'm going to tell you a story because everybody's got to hear this. When I got in, it took 3 months before somebody called me back. Then it took 3 months before somebody sent me an application. I get into the first meeting, I sit down, nobody comes up to say hello, they don't even know I'm there. I go to the second meeting, the same thing happens. I said, whoa, we got to find out what's going on here. So I go to the chairman and I said to her, hey, listen, I'd like to take over the phones because nobody calls anybody back. She says, oh, that's great because the guy who's doing it got sick and blah, blah, blah. So I answer 185 phone calls. We got 25 people involved because they made me the membership director because nobody really wanted to do anything. And 25 years later, I'm now the vice chair of Broward County Republican Party. Wow. And I'll tell you the whole story because a lot has happened. And communication in this country is one of the things that you and I got to make even better because that's where the problem is. People don't communicate. So when I got involved, everything started really happening about 4 years ago when I saw Dan Schultz on Steve Bannon's program. And I called him up and I said, hey, we've got some great things going on here in Broward. I saw you getting people on Bannon's show with success stories. They said, yeah, that's great. Let me call Cameron, see if we can get you on. Well, I get on about 2 or 3 weeks later, and a funny thing happened. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm taking my little card, and I'm sketching, and I'm putting notes on because, you know, when you're on TV for the first time in front of maybe 1 million or 2 million people, who knows what you're going to say and what's going to happen. So I was a little bit concerned, but anyway, they told me I got to use Skype. I had no idea what Skype was. So I got my Skype done. I got the subscription, and they tell me I'm going to be on at 10:15. So I never went back to sleep. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was kind of a little tired. But I figured I'd do a good job. I knew what I was going to say. So at 10:15, they text me, and I'm on listening to Steve Bannon in the background, yelling at people and doing this and doing that. And I figured, you know, I'd get on in a couple of minutes. Well, it turned out after sitting there for an hour and some odd minutes after they were telling me that they were going to have me on later, and they had breaking news and blah, blah, blah. So I thought I'd probably never even get on. But I did get on about 11:46. I had lost about 5 pounds of sweat because I was sitting there, you know, listening to all this stuff, and I had forgot everything I was going to say. But anyway, I did a good job. I got a little text from Cameron a couple of days later with a copy of the show, and they said, hey, you did such a great job. We got so many people calling. I said, well, look, you know, I'm a great salesman. I started in business when I was 12 years old, and I'm 84 now. I've been in business 71 years. And, you know, God comes down sometimes and helps you. And I'm going to tell you a little story about how I got involved in business. I was in Dallas when I was 18 years old, and I had started with my dad when I was 12 years old. And I'm sitting there in Dallas at a men's show, and a guy who's 80 years old comes up to me. He says, hey, son, what are you looking at? I said, well, I'm looking at those shirts up there. And he said, well, you're a smart guy. He says, you know, I'm going to tell you who I am. I said, I sold JCPenney for many, many years. I own half of Laguna Beach. I want to retire and enjoy my rest of my life. He said, go buy those shirts. And it was a banded bottom shirt. So it's called bandedbottom.com. We're the largest in the world. And I had those shirts, changed the labels, put our label in, and put them up at a show. And 2 guys come in from JCPenney said, hey, that's just what we're looking for. Well, to make a long story short, I started doing $14 million a year with them for 44 years and built up a great business. And about a month before 9/11, you see all these flag shirts. A guy was actually selling pennies, and they bounced him because they canceled all his sweaters that he was doing him, and he had to go bankrupt. So we bought his company, and we actually got him in, and he was making one shirt behind me. And my son and I designed with a designer numerous shirts, as you see behind, and we became the flag shirt guy. And now a lot of people say, hey, they don't remember my name. They say, hey, I saw you on Bannon, the flag shirt guy. What's your name? Steve Stern. So now I just go and say, hey, I'm the flag shirt guy. So anyway, we're going to have you on tomorrow at a great event tomorrow. We're going to we do two things: precinct strategy and election integrity. And how we got involved in election integrity was very simple. President Trump endorsed precinct strategy. Now, I'm old school like you. We use these cards. Here's the little endorsement of precinct strategy. And what is precinct strategy? Precinct strategy is basically the Republican Party. And what do you do when you become a committee man and committee woman? There's 400,000 slots in the United States. There's 200,000 people involved 4 years ago. And today there's 400,000 slots, and there's about 210,000 people involved. So we need people to get involved. And what do you do when you become a committee man and committee woman? Each county in the United States either has a Democrat or Republican executive county or town committee or some kind of committee that you could join. You attend meetings like I did, and then you get involved, or you sit back and do nothing. And you end up voting. You vote for the chairman, you vote for the vice chairman, the secretary, you vote for other things during the things to get people involved. You sign up voters. You get the most important thing when you become a committee man and committee woman is get candidates elected. So if we have 800 slots in Broward County and we have 250 people involved, that means we're not getting the job done because 250 people can't do what 800 people can do. So we need more people all over the United States, because most counties only have about 49 to 52% involvement, which is terrible in this country. And you canvass neighborhoods. So when you're knocking on doors, ask people to get involved. You can become a poll watcher or a poll worker, and that's very important because a lot of people asked us, well, what did we do in the last election that Susie Wiles texted you, General Flynn, Lindell? Well, we got 40,000 poll watchers and poll workers by being on 150 shows, along with Bannon and Steve Gruber and many, many people on Real America Voice. But today, we need poll watchers and poll workers in 2 states. There's going to be an election. One's next to you in New Jersey, and one is in Virginia, and also in California in one of the areas. But the most important ones are New Jersey for the governor and in Virginia for whoever's running there. Very important. So people have asked me on the RNC to ask people to get involved and become a poll watcher and poll worker in there. And tomorrow, the starting person in our event for election integrity, of which a great guy is going to be on, and it's called Joe DeBox. He's going to be one of our star guys because we always have a person who's a podcaster on there. So what we did about 4 months ago, we decided to specialize in one state for each time we have an election security thing. Why was that important? Well, we want to get the head of the Republican Party involved in there, and most of the states have done this except Virginia, where we weren't able to get the head of the Virginia Republican Party on. He was too busy to come on, which is crazy, but that's the way it goes. So who are we going to have on? We're going to have Brian Swenson. He's one of the head guys on election integrity in the RNC. He'll be starting it on. Then we're going to have Dr. Robert Epstein. Dr. Robert Epstein, I flew out to San Diego a couple of years ago and met him because he was on Cleta Mitchell's Zoom, and I thought he did a great job on what he said. And I asked him to come on. He did, and then I flew out there. And while we were sitting there, I said, "Hey, were you ever on Bannon?" And he said, "No, I wasn't." And so we called Bannon up, and he said, "I'm going to have him on the next day." And why is Robert Epstein important, Dr. Robert Epstein? Well, he's a Democrat, but he wants fair elections. So what he did was he got an organization together to stop Google from swaying the election. In one of the elections where President Biden was running, 80% of the Google stuff came out for Biden and 20% came out for President Trump. So you can see what they did. So he got 11,000 people involved, and they were monitoring Google, and they brought up to Congress how they were swaying the election. Well, a lot of people didn't understand that. Then we're going to have Lynn Teller on from Virginia. She is EIN, which is Cleta Mitchell's organization. Great girl. She's going to tell you what's going on in Virginia. Then we're going to have Johnny Vieira on, votifynow.org. He has an app, and why it's important. When you go to the polls or when you see people cheating or whatever they're doing, you report it in that app, and he brings it to the authorities. Then we're going to have a guy on Joe the Box. He's going to be telling everybody what's going on in New York. He's going to be telling everybody how to get involved, because he and I are working very close together, and he's a great guy. And I only met him a couple of weeks ago, but so important to have a man like this involved with the organization. Why is that important? Well, he's a MAGA guy like me, and both of us have, 24/7. We're around the clock. We get people on that are important to bring the word out. And if you don't have a passion in this thing, then it's never going to happen. Now, every election security thing, we have something for Tina Peters. This time we're going to have Apollo Pappas on. Apollo actually is now working for Tina Peters, and if you go to tinapeters.us, we definitely need people to step up and donate. That's tinapeters.us. She's in jail. She called me last week from jail. She calls me every week, tells me what's happening. Here's a 70-year-old woman who was put in jail for 9 years. Insanity. She protected the election in Colorado and got bounced for that. President Trump's working on it. Mike Lindell is working on it. Everybody in the Sun is working on it. And if you feel like you want to, we would like you to call Governor Jared Polis at 303-866-2471 and ask her for a pardon. And a lot of people say, why hasn't President Trump pardoned her? And the reason,
Steve
very
Stern,
simple.
my
Go ahead, Joe.
brother.
Go ahead.
My brother Steve Stern, we're coming down to about 30 seconds left, and I am no way letting you go. All right? You threw out that. I love it. Tina Peters is a patriot just like you, brother. I'm surprised they didn't lock you up. I don't know why, because I probably would have. And if you go back to that center shot with 10 seconds left, I want to see everybody on the table. And I got to ask the audience the questions. If you look at the three center ones, do you think that we could be triplets? I think, you know what you are, Steve? My long-lost brother.
The America First Ultra MAGA store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA store.
Gold and silver, it's God's money, and we all need it. Unfortunately, the whole precious metals industry is rigged in favor of the wealthy people. In fact, it's so complicated that 95% of all Americans don't own any precious metals. What the industry needed was a way for us to buy fractional units of precious metals, get free storage in a secure vault, have them insured, take physical possession of the metals, or instantaneously liquidate the assets at one of the highest buyback prices in the industry. Well, now there is. It's called a Sound Money account, and everybody needs one. With a membership, you can start buying gold and silver with as little as $1. Now that fits everyone's budget. Also, our members can gift gold and silver between each other in our Sound Money accounts. What a great way to pass on generational wealth. You'll be able to rest easier knowing you have the security and flexibility found in having your very own Sound Money account. Please scan the QR code or go to TAFWSoundmoney.com to learn more. The America First Warehouse wants every American to have access to owning their very own precious metals.
Freddie Rubino here at the America First Warehouse. I'm inviting you to the live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Just click on the QR code right above my shoulder and you can get tickets live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Drinks,
Yeah, I can hear.
snacks, it's a great time. We'll see you there October 18th.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country. We are back at the America First warehouse where we make MAGA. We make MAGA. It's quite good, I must say. Steve Stern, our friend, the America flag shirt company, friend of America, is bringing precinct strategy to us. We have civic responsibilities. Besides voting, we also have responsibility to get involved. And if you don't like something, you can be a committee man, is what Steve Stern's message is, in your community. It does take effort, Steve Stern, and you're explaining it state by state. Last week he had like 3 or 4 hours. He brought in state by state. And I do know, it's different for every state, but here in New York, it is the committee process. But what I'm finding out, if you're not a good friend of the Republican Party, then you might not be a committee man. Can you explain why that would happen?
Sure. But before we do that, let me tell you, so everybody knows how to get on our election security call tomorrow, and I'll discuss the whole thing. So besides Apollo, we're going to have Gary Myers on from the Gary Myers Report, Greg Stenstrom from Pennsylvania. One important person which you want to see tomorrow is Stefano Forte. He is the head of the Young Republicans in Manhattan. So being in New York, like you guys are, it's very important for everybody to watch tomorrow, because it took us 5 years to get somebody from the YRs to come on. And they have 1,800 people. We're also going to have Andy Mangione on, who's going to be talking about some very important stuff. But the most important person I left to the last is Dr. Jerome Corsi. He's going to be talking about an executive order the president talking about on election security. So, like you said, last week you were down in my office and we sat and talked, and you got on our precinct strategy call, and there was over 6 million people on it. We had one person from each state. It took us 2 months to do this. We had to record everybody, and a lot, just like you said, people getting involved. A lot of people who said they were going to do it ended up not doing it for whatever the reason is. But if you want to see the whole event and you want to go on tomorrow, go to Stern American Rumble. And we are live tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern time for our election security call. If you want to see the precinct strategy call and you want to see Joe DeBox on there with me, go to Stern American Rumble. You can get on it. It is 4 hours long, one person from every state. And that's important because it's telling you how to get involved in each state. Now, you said something important. You asked a question about people getting on and not being able to get in. Sure. It's very important because in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, many areas, people cannot get in and they give up. Well, don't give up, because number one, you get voted in, you get on the ballot and you get in. If they don't let you in, you bring your attorney in there and you bring in about 50 people. And because they're going to bring police out there to stop you from even coming in. So it's crazy because the Republicans are fighting each other. We have MAGA, who's trying to push out all the establishment and rhinos, and that's happening in every state in the country. Don't think it's just New York. It is almost every state in the country. We're in pretty good shape in Florida. We've turned a lot of the places to MAGA, and we have 1 or 2 still that are, and it's unfortunate because General Flynn is a committee man in Sarasota, Florida, and that's one of the places where they have a establishment guy in there. So in the state of Florida, we maybe have 3 or 4 that are establishment, but I tell all the people all the time, in Miami, right by me is a rough area because it's the only area in Florida that has districts rather than precincts. So let me explain. Districts are way smaller, so if you have a district, it may take on 5 precincts or 10 precincts, and therefore they can't get a lot of people involved. So Broward is the only blue county in Florida, and we have a lot of people coming in from New York who are actually Republicans, and we're spending $30,000 to email every person in Broward County that has 1 Republican in there and maybe 1 or 2 Democrats in the family, so we can try to change them in there. Now, the good news in New York, in Queens, 6,000 Democrats have either turned independent or Republican. This is happening all over the country. So, and back to your question is, you just have to fight. I know you try to get into as a committee man and they bounce you out. You just have to bring a lot of people to the meetings. And, if they have 20 people in a meeting and you have 100, certainly you gotta go over and take them. But it takes work. I mean, just like I did. I didn't get in 3 months. I didn't get in 6 months. I finally got in, and nobody wanted me to do anything, but I just took control. So you have to take control of what you're doing by getting more people involved, by making phone calls to the people that are in there. Go on the websites. If you want to get involved, go on the website. Just keep pumping in. And you know what? Come in there and give them some positive feedback. You know, some of the things in, people get in, they start destroying the chairman, and therefore he gets upset and he won't let you in. So there's a lot of different ways. And if anybody wants to call me, you know, I always put up my number, my phone number. You know, I always answer everybody's call. But this is my new email, sstern1054@gmail.com. If you email me, I will help you get in. If you want to call me, there's my number. I won't answer it, but I'll call you back because we get a lot of crank calls. And also, if you want to go to the flag shirt, we certainly will sell you a flag shirt, www.theflagshirt.com. You know, somebody who's been in business 71 years, you know why they're successful, because we take care of our customers. We make stuff in the USA as well as over in India, but we have a 100% tremendous product. So let me have some questions from your panel, because I know they want to do it. I want to let you know that we do have a lot of people that I had on that are great in each state, and I will let anybody that calls me contact that person in your state on how to get involved, and that's what we do. So go ahead, Joe. Give me a couple questions, and we'll repeat them on the time we got left.
Yes, we do have about 5 minutes, and I want each gentleman to maybe ask you a question and stuff. And you know, you told us the story on how you got involved and how you know what motivated. Was there a time that I don't know if you missed this, that really made a change in your life, whether it be a great moment in history or a tragic moment in history that said, "Hey, this country's too good, then I got to fight for it"?
So I would say this is the most exciting thing. I'm going to show you for my 81st birthday. There's a letter from President Trump, and I'm going to read it because it's going to take a minute or so. It says, "Dear Steve, we join your family and friends in wishing you a happy 81st birthday. Our nation is strong because of hard work, patriots like you who believe in and defend the great American ideals and faith, family, community, and country first. Your commitment to excellence and dedication to exemplifying the American dream through ingenuity, hard work, principled leadership is the foundation of your tremendous success and demonstrates the proud spirit of family-owned and operated business. As you celebrate this special day, we hope your heart is filled with joy, knowing you have experienced our country's greatest blessings, freedom, and the affection of your loved ones. Melania and I send you very best wishes for your continued happy birthday and success. Happy birthday, and may God bless you and your family. Sincerely, President Donald Trump." Now, that's the one thing. Also, President Trump endorsed precinct strategy, was great. And
Nice.
if you look in the back and get the whole picture, you'll see 2 pictures of myself with President Trump, one up in Mar-a-Lago, up in his office, which he endorsed precinct strategy 2 days before the election. That in itself, being there personally with him a couple of times, is so exciting, because in a conference I was with him, I could see how intelligent he was. And that's 2 of the big things that I think are fantastic in my life. And of course, meeting you was the 3rd.
Johnny boy, look how handsome he is. You guys are wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, we called each other this morning and said, this is the one that we're going to wear. You know, I wake up every morning, thank God, and so proud to be an American. So I like to wear my colors. We were talking because we drive around and you see a house that's got an American flag on the front, you know where he's coming from, and you know who we voted for. And then I'd like to see more than just 4 flags in a row. That's the most I counted so far. Because obviously I keep my eye on the road, but the corner of my eye is always looking for the flag. And if it ain't on my house, it's on my body. I love
Flag shirt. Thank you, Steve.
Love my shirt.
Freddie, go ahead.
Well, I tell you, I live half the year in Florida. I perform all over the country, and there's been it went very, very liberal, this country, for a while, and it was very difficult to do comedy. But the first state I noticed that started to flip was Florida. That was the first place performing where all of a sudden people were like, yes, finally, somebody who's not liberal, finally, a MAGA, a pro-American. And I've seen now other states are changing. They're going more conservative and MAGA-friendly. So it can happen. It takes work, but you can flip your state If you get involved, if you get out there and you keep talking and you keep getting involved, it can happen, because I'm seeing it right now in a lot of states.
Steve's going to have to get more involved in the Broward County. I lived there for 20 years myself, so I know that Broward County is one of the only state counties in Florida that's a little bit on the iffy side. I wonder why.
Well, I don't
Well, that's
like the
because a
cheating.
lot of people from New York came down here. I went into some of the places in Deerfield, started talking to people, and they were retired school teachers from New York who were very liberal. And it just so happens that certain areas become more liberal. If you notice in the States, a lot of the people who are in these counties that are big, they move to the rural areas, and therefore you got more liberals in there. Now, we're fighting all over the country. Now, I got to tell you that Seth Keshel, Captain Seth Keshel, who works with me out of Arizona, he reports every month how each state is moving more to the red. So I want to let you know that I don't care what state it is, there are numbers that people are turning from
Yes.
Democratic Party to the Republican Party, because the Democratic Party has gone so far to the left that any rational person could see what's going on. And that's what's happening. And a lot of
Lacking
people have
the
moved
common sense.
independent. They don't want to say, because I work in California with a lot of people. And Tina Celine asked me to turn California red. I said I was good, but I'm not that good. But I'll try. And we found out that a lot of people are independents out there because their kids go to school. And if they show that they're Democratic, they get harassed. So they become independents, but they're really voting Republican. So that's a lot around
Because if
the
they
country
vote
that's
registered
happening. Because if you
Republican,
live
they
in a
get
big
harassed.
city
The
and
other
it's
way
more
around.
Democratic, you got to be very careful. You
Yeah.
see how crazy they are and what they did to Charlie and other people. It's really
It is
unbelievable.
our
And a lot of
education
people
system.
get hurt and nobody ever says anything. And a lot of Republican areas where they have offices get terrorized and vandalized. So yes, we've got to get involved. And it takes a lot to get involved because a lot of people are lazy. You know, that's one of the things. You know,
No
we got so many
lazy,
people-
no lazy. We're not going to be lazy anymore. I'm going to tell you right now, Steve Stern, we're going to follow you on precinct strategy. We're not going to study these magazines that come from the teachers union today. Look at the cover over here. You can't see it. Gotta go.
Take care, guys.